is Jessica, also known as Silver Lunar 2112 there on Ravelry. So I want to say a quick thank you to all new viewers for joining me in my little corner of the world. I really do appreciate you coming by because I know there's a lot of podcasts out there that you could be watching, so thank you for that. Also, a big thank you to those that are actually returning viewers. I really do appreciate you coming back each week, like I said, especially with the large number of podcasts that are out there that you could be watching too. I have been really busy over the past couple weeks. A lot of long work days necessarily didn't hinder my knitting mojo, so there is that, right? But anyway, you did not come by to hear about my work woes, right? So, as I mentioned, I have a lot to talk about. So, grab your crafting, your beverage, and away we go. Oh, that's good. Today's drink is a wonderful tea that Jilly of the Broomstick podcast, hi Jilly, introduced me to. It's Twinings orange and cinnamon spice. It's actually in my blue knit happy mug. Absolutely adorable. Uh, I love this tea. So, excuse me while I take another sip here. Oh, so good. And it's hot too, so I should probably know better, right? All right. So, on to the more you know. A very quick update actually on my Java along. As I promised the last time I recorded, I won't be breaking down the rules every show, just so you know. I have it rhymed. Anyway, I'll have the full list of the rules listed out directly on our threads on Ravelry as well as the podcast notes, just in case you'd like to join and you need to know the rules. Essentially, anything that goes that reminds you of the Geeky Girls, Java Pearl, even Dammy's Doodles. So there's that. If you do choose to participate, please just post pictures on any social media and really using the hashtag SDL Java along so that I can find your whips and FOs. There's going to be some random active patterning going on relatively soon. Wow, I'm sorry. My words, they're just jumping out of my mouth in garbled messes today. But it happens when I haven't talked for so long. So anyway, if you do have any crafty items that you would like to donate as prizes or any pattern ideas or anything like that, please just PM me directly on Ravelry. As I said before, I am SilverLuna2112 there. Or you can email me directly at silversdreamlandpodcast@gmail.com. So in this vein, I wanted to let you know I did find a few more prizes that are going to be entered for this KAL. Just for y'all. I'll actually talk about them more when they arrive in the mail. So yes, a very quick update on Stash Dash. We have dates, y'all. They were actually discussing the possible dates in not this week, but last week's episode. So if you didn't hear, I'm going to let you know now. Just mark your calendars. Start date is actually May 26th, and the finish date this year is August 20th. Let the madness begin. As a reminder, you can find my planning in the post on my blog. I'll link it in the show notes, but it is www.dreamysilver2112.com. It's kind of where you'll find a lot of my reviews and just the only thing knitting there really now is the stash dash thread. So yes, possible events coming up. I'm actually going to be celebrating my birthday month all May long. And at the end of the month, my podversary is also coming up. So it is going to be the 30th of May. Word of warning for both of these, I will have some random active patterning going on, or RAP, all throughout the month of May as well. And there should be a few contests that I'm planning on. I will announce these on Instagram and in the Ravelry group as soon as they pop up, just so you know. The second thing I'm going to talk about is I am actually in the planning stages of putting together a worldwide Knit in Public Day. Actually, in my area, there in Connecticut, here in Connecticut, there is one down by the coastline, but I wanted to have one that was closer to Hartford and closer to where I live, so that way most of the state doesn't have to drive down to the shoreline that day, just in case. You never know, right? I'll also be sharing more of those details as I go along as well. I am planning on having a table where I'm going to have buttons and things like that so you can do like meet and greets and all that good stuff as well. But like I said, I'm going to be having a Facebook group as well, and I'll link to that in the show notes so you have that. All right. So, moving on to my favorite things. You'll be proud to know we do have a new phone system in place where I work, hence why I've had a lot of crazy work days. But yeah, but guess who is actually the voice of the closed message? Yep, this girl. Okay, so last time I mentioned work, I promise. The other thing that I am very much loving on came in the mail on Monday. I did get a shipment from Miss Babs, two different colorways of Yowza this time around. The first one is called Seduction. It is a gorgeous ride, y'all. Those pictures can never do it justice, but I tried my best, but it definitely is lots of reds. I am in love with reds recently. I don't know what is up with me, but the other color I have is called Ebony. Now, these two are going to be part of a commission that I have for somebody that I'm putting together for somebody. It's a lot of planning work, I guess you would say, and in the planning stages, but I will show you once those pop up as well. Oh my goodness, this tea, guys. I'm sorry, I can't stop drinking it. All right, so let's move on to FOs or finished objects. I am going to start considering any of my Stash Dash 2017 stopping points part of finished objects for now, even though they're technically not finished and they don't count for yardage until they're officially done. However, the first one up I forgot to mention last time, I did finish this before we recorded last time, and I realized as I was editing the podcast, oh yeah, I had one more I didn't mention, and this was it. This is actually the Whiz Pipe Popper. Sorry. Okay, you know what? Let's try that again. This is the Whiz Popper Shawl by Lala. I did use a colorway of the Betty Base called Lumpy Space, the Lucky Violet Yarn Company. Oh, it's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I cannot stop looking at those colors, let me tell you. And I also got distracted by the shawl in my hand. I do apologize about that. Anyway, um, I'm using a size US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter needle. The Chigu red lace, 40-inch circulars. So that's going to be in hiding until Stash Dash starts, y'all. It's getting closer. Can you feel it? Can you feel the crazy coming on? Can you feel the crazy coming on? I can, because I am just a bit crazy. But y'all knew that, right? The next topping point that did get to this week, I am calling my vanilla latte socks. See, I am currently on to the toe of the second sock. You can see both of them in the picture, but here's the progress keeper that's on there is actually my Belle of the Beauty and the Beast stitch markers. They are, oh geez, I can't remember where I got them from. I'll put a banner down below so you can definitely find the shop if you would like to. She's still got some in her store, I believe. Which I'm so sorry that I can't remember. All right, so the pattern is actually the Vanilla Latte Socks by Virginia Rose Jean. Tell me how to pronounce that, y'all. The colorway is Jinx Yarn in the Power Sock base. Colorway is Belle. Obviously, can you guys sense a theme? Come on, come with it, come with it. Yeah, there it is. All right, so I'm using a US 16-inch circulars. It is a 2.75 millimeter, I believe, for the needle size. The third thing that I did get to the stopping point, and this is the biggest one, that's why I wanted to save it for last, y'all. It's the all this red is knitting up like butter. I just want to let you know, quick note about this. I had actually gotten to this dash dash stopping point when I realized why it looked so small. I'm on size 6 needles, y'all. The pattern calls for a size 6. Yeah, total hem palm moment. Total head palm, but that's fine. You'll see the stitch marker is where I actually left off the last time, and I am going on to the third, it'll be, what is it, the first rotation of the pattern of that last section there. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely. I cannot stop staring at those stripes, y'all. Anyway, that is the Color Affection by Vera Valimaki in 3 different colorways of the Dream and Color Smushy base. The cream color is the Butter Peeps. Then there is the lipstick lava and Miami red colors. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. All right, and as I said, they are a size 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter. They are the Chigu red lace 40-inch circular needles. So what you're seeing is kind of squished up on the needles. Sorry. So another thing, bunch of things actually that I finished this time around is actually there's a whole stack of them here. I've got the 2017 washcloths that I'm working on. I finished a total of 6. I've decided that I would like to go ahead and do 8 total every month. So that meant I had to do 6 this time around, but that's fine. Y'all, I have 2 different color washcloths this time around. Gorgeous. Anyway, the pattern, just in case you had forgotten, is the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by Root Slate. The colorways that I'm using are both Lollipop, which is the current blue-green one, and Spicy of the Bernat Cotton Candy collection yarns. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. And I don't know, the colors are and everything are growing on me, and the cotton is not as horrible as I thought it would be. So, yay! I should definitely think before I speak, right? And just so you know, I am using a size US 6 4.0 millimeter Knitter's Pride Marbles needles. It is a 24-inch circular, and like any good knitter and good podcaster, I have started the month of May is the first one. So yay me! The other thing, y'all, I have a hoe. I have a hoe. I have a hoe. Yes, yes, yes. It is the watermelon lesson 3. I finished this one. Oh, finally, finally, finally. And you know what? And I have a toe. So I want a toe. Yes. Sorry. Celebrations for every little thing. This one's been on the needles since March of last year. And seeing as the fact that Gil's Art, who is the dyer of the watermelon single knits sock blanks that she does, she just had a reiteration of the watermelon go live on her shop, and I was like, oh yeah, I do have some of that. So that inspired me to get going on this one. It's funny how that happens, right? The pattern that I'm using for the socks are the Toe Up Socks with a Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. And it is on a size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles. They are the 216-inch circular method that I like. I've had these needles for quite a bit. They are a different style cable too, which is what I wanted to try. We'll see. So before we go on to works in progress, I need to have another sip, guys. So super parched. Mm. Okay, so I do have a few new whips since last time. As you've heard me mention, I did get started or maybe get started. Let's try that again. I know you all definitely have heard about the MCAL that I was actually getting involved with, the mystery knit along. I'm calling this project "The Doctor is the Answer." Now, if y'all don't know Doctor Who at all, those are the TARDIS windows, y'all, and a little bit of Matt Smith action. I'm not gonna lie. So Clue 1 was actually released on 4/15. Clue 2, which is what I'm currently working on, about halfway through that, that was released on 4/22, and Clue 3 will actually be released this Saturday, the 29th. Oh, cannot wait to get started on that, y'all. I cannot wait to see what Mary Clusters has in store. Anyway, um, so just make sure you check out hashtag policebox2017 on Instagram, basically to see what kind of progress everyone's made with the MCAL as well as myself. So yes, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So the pattern is right now is actually being called the Police Box MCAL, and it is by Monica Evans. I'm using two different bases of the Lorna's Laces shepherd sock. The bigger on the inside is the main color, the blue color that you're seeing. And then for the stranded color work, I am going to be using the string quartet, which is the March 2017 police box color. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have to like label each of the colors as I come to them because they are so gorgeous and deserve it. Hey, it's the beauty of editing. I can do that. So yeah, the needles that I'm using on this one are a size US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. I'm using a cubic zircona's 24-inch circular needles. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to wear this thing, y'all. Let me tell you. The bag that you see in the picture is what it's currently housed in. It's the blue TARDIS bag that I have. I don't know if that's the exact title. I'm sorry, but it is by Addicted to Sock Knitting. I saw that in one of her updates and I was just like, oh, I have to have you. I'll link the shop titles of all of the bags and things that I mentioned directly in the show notes, as well as I may put it underneath. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna commit to that. I can't guarantee anything. You know how that goes. Anyway, the second thing that, well, right now, before I go on to the next thing, you'll notice I have a lot, and I repeat, a lot of stitch markers on that one. It's kind of making it heavy, but I think it'll be worth it in the long haul just to kind of follow the directions as written, as opposed to what may work for me, like, oh yeah, putting a road bump in the way. So I know to do something different for a little while, kind of method that I normally do. But y'all, I get to use my Doctor Who stitch markers, so I guess I shouldn't complain too much, right? And the rubber duckies. Come on, those rubber duckies are so super cute. Oh, I can't remember where I got those, but I will put a link underneath as well so that way you can find them. Okay, so the second thing that I have been working on, I am calling the Darunia Loves Hot Cocoa with Green Marshmallows. Ugh. Now, if you don't get that reference, you're probably not a gamer or you haven't heard this enough, but I cannot pronounce the guy's name at all, but he is the Rock King from OOT or Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yes. Yes. This is for somebody who goes by the handle Zelda Mercury Zelda. So it was a kind of inside joke with her and I, but now you know. I have just gotten past the heel on the first sock. You can see it's so super gorgeous. Now that it's not so close, look how beautiful that is. Absolutely gorgeous. She's like a sister of mine, so I decided that she deserves to get a pair of socks. The pattern that I'm using is the Hot Chocolate with Pink Marshmallows by CC Almond, also known as Java Pearl. Hi, CC. Yeah, if you'll ever see this, right? The yarn that I'm using is a Knit Picks Stroll Tonal colorway called Mountain Pass. Absolutely gorgeous, y'all. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Also on this one using its size US 2, the 216-inch circulars, the just so you know the US size is 2 and it's a 2.75 millimeter needle. The bag that I'm using that you see in the background is the Haunted Mansion sock bag that I have from Slip Stitch Studios. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I almost wish I had a sweater bag like that. No, that's not a hint for mom or anyone else that I know. Please don't take that as a hint because I know you're listening. Anyway, if you look, I'm gonna do a little quick close up. You see that button that's on there? That badge that's on there? Real life knitter. No, you can't touch me. I've actually had somebody say, "Hey, can I touch your yarn?" That's fine, touching my yarn, but just don't touch the knitter, okay? Unless you have permission. But no, you can't touch that. Anyway, another work in progress that I am working on, I'm calling It'll Give You Wings. I haven't touched this much. This is more of my out and about in line, I guess. I've been wanting to work on other things while I'm at work with patterning, obviously, as you saw before. But I did get a couple rows done, so it counts, right? Um, this pattern is the CC's Vanilla Cappuccino Socks, again by CC Almond. I am using a pure Woolmice Pure colorway called Wings on My Feet. Ah, I absolutely love the way this is working out. What you're seeing is just past the heel on the second sock. Um, just so you know, I have been using many different sizes of needles. The size US 2 and a size 1.5 9-inch circulars, which are on there now. And then later on, I'll be using a 1.5 16-inch circulars to do the to do the cuff on the sock. I also used a size US 2 on the toes as well, just to get started. Obviously, when you're first casting on the socks, they're not big enough to warrant the 9-inch circulars, as you do. The bag in the background that you see there is what I'm calling my purple bird bag from Slip Stitch Studios. I'll have to put a close-up picture later, possibly on the in the show notes, so you know. Oof, hold it for a sec here. Mm, okay. So there are many things that I have been dreaming about essentially working on that I probably should be getting onto quickly or soon enough, rather. I really do just want to cast on that wedding shawl for my husband's brother and, well, or and new sister-in-law. So, oh, I need to get started, y'all. Uh, I've been putting it off. Like I mentioned a couple episodes back, absolutely been delaying, and I will not lie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and I'm not gonna lie to myself. I've been delaying because I've been lazy knitter. There's no other excuse for that. So I've also been dreaming of doing a find your fade shawl. I've been looking into different kits and things like that as well. We'll see how quickly that one gets cast on. I've seen that it's a popular pattern and it does look pretty. So we'll see. Been dreaming about that. I've also been dreaming about a another color affection, but this time with the proper needle size. And I also, like I mentioned a little bit before, is I do have a couple of baby sports hats that I'm going to be making for a client, and I do need to go ahead and create the logos and things like that. So there's no copyright infringement. It'll be my own making. I'm trying to tailor made it to what the client had wanted, so it'll be fun. So yes, in the same vein of what you're watching, or I'm sorry, what you're reading and listening to, Silver, this section is going to actually include a review this time around. So you know. So, I was, what is with me and so today, right? I was given the opportunity to read an ARC, or what is called an advanced reader copy of Michelle Menken's new book. It simply just charmed my pants off. as they say. It's called Rock Fuck Club. I did write a full review on my blog, which is at www.dreamysilver.com, but I thought I would read you a little bit of the description of the book that is premiered both on Goodreads and on the back of the book. And this was directly from the author herself. So here we go. Before I do, gotta get a sip, guys. So, 10 cities in 2 weeks, 10 famous rock stars. On my knees against the wall, on my tits, I don't care. As long as I get the evidence to prove it. Why? Because I caught my former prick of a boyfriend from Heavy Metal Enthusiasts doing a groupie doggy style backstage on the night we were supposed to be celebrating our 1 year anniversary. He told me I was too uptight, too vanilla, too boring. So I got drunk with my bestie, Marsha West, the aspiring videographer. I ranted and I raved. I came up with a crazy idea. What I didn't know was that my best friend recorded me. Marsha put it up on YouTube. It went viral with 10 million hits. Now I've got fans and sponsors offering me big bucks. Rockstars have volunteered to be my fuck buddy. Hollywood is calling. I get to choose which rock stars I want. The stakes are high. The shit just got real. What could go wrong? I'll just let that sink in a little bit. The whole book is a charming concept. This girl gets cheated on by an ex and drunkenly rants to her friend about how she wants to take control of her sex life and prove to the scumbag that she is anything but vanilla. Her friend records the whole rant, and they start a journey together toward Raven's escapades. There were times where the feminist in me was yelling at the main character Raven to wake the fuck up. She ignores her instincts about people and bases her actions on some really erroneous assumptions. It does make for good comic relief, don't get me wrong. And then, of course, we as readers do sigh with relief once she finally gets to see what we've all seen all the whole way through the book. I literally did not want to take my eyes off the page. I just wanted to see more of her personal development as the story progresses. Ugh. Well done, Miss Mencken. I cannot wait to dive into your other books. So, in the other books that I've been reading after that book, right? Before I do though, I have been listening to a lot of music as well as the audiobooks and stuff that I'll mention later. I have been listening to Metallica's Ride the Lightning pretty much on repeat for the whole week, plus a bit of Moody Blues. Wow. And yes, while in MDI's car. I'm basically driving back and forth, and I borrowed his car one time this week. Yay, it's pretty. Anyway, I also managed to finish listening all the way through Hamilton finally. OMG. Why did I think I needed to skip this one? I mean, I can see why Cece and Danny are both obsessed with this musical. And yes, I did think of Cece's mistaken lyrics as I was listening to it as well. I'll actually be linking that video of her talking about that in the podcast notes so you can just see what the heck I'm talking about. All right, enough of what I've been listening to. Let's go back onto what I've been reading because, yeah. Um, I did finish several books. The first one was called If Not For You by Demi Macomer. As you mentioned before, I did start reading this, and I mentioned it briefly when we talked the last time. This one I did listen to on Audible. I did see um, actually that Debbie Macomer, wow, was coming out with a new book and just could not wait to get this book and just get it started. This is possibly the cutest story I've read in quite a while. The main character, Beth, comes to a new town to find her way in the world and just ends up meeting her love interest on a blind date. At first impressions make the two repel each other. However, on the way home, she gets into a car crash. Sam, the love interest, ends up witnessing the accident and sticking with her throughout the course of her recovery, etc. It's actually rare that both characters have been shaped by tragedies and are really loath to trust each other. And they do overcome all of these things and end up together in the end, which is just a total awe moment. It is totally the bomb that I needed. So well done. The second book that I did finish this week was called Tequila and Tea Bags. It's by Laura Barnard. The title itself got me. I'll admit it. I mentioned this book solely because of the cute storyline that happens between the heroine and hero. It follows the personal development of the main character as she realizes that not everything is as it appears, and not everyone has her interest at heart. Here she does learn who her real friends are and that she can learn from her mistakes, not drown in them, as she erroneously thought in the beginning of this book. You'll just have to read it to kind of know what I'm alluding to in that because I don't want to give away the secret sauce, so to speak. The third thing that I finished this week was called Nerd in Shining Armor by Vicki Lewis Thompson. This one was recommended to me by the awesome ladies over on the books podcast. I am so glad I took their advice. There's a whole series of books to follow this one, and I really, really want to read them. I have a list, quite the list of books that I am reading. So the next thing that I have is called the Men of BMUS by Vicki Lewis Thompson as well. It's a box set of four nerdy heroes who own this company called Beamos, which is short for Beamos Up or Beam Me Up, Scotty. Wow. This alone made me squeal and purchase all four. All at once. Absolutely had to. It was just something I had to do. The titles of each book made me want to read the books even more. I pretty much consumed this within 6 days, and this does not include the time in between that I stopped to read through the book that I mentioned in reviews. So each title, the first one was The Geek Tycoon. Second one was Tender is the Nerd. The third one, It's All Greek to Me. And then the fourth one is A Nerd to Remember. Oh, absolutely love, I love titles that do that. Okay, all right. I need to stop. The next thing that I haven't finished, but that I am still currently reading is The Shining by Stephen King. Now, I actually did read some of the book this week over the past couple weeks. Yeah, I promise I'm getting there. It's slow. A lot of why I'm dragging my heels is because I'm trying to find time not before bed to read it because sometimes I like creep myself out with the book and I know the movie followed suit. So we'll see. I'm good with scary stories. I just Stephen King takes the cake. He scares me even. And I usually am the one laughing at the people jumping in theaters. So, yeah. All right. So, what I'm listening to, as I've been mentioning over the past couple months actually that I've been reading this one, is the Complete Sherlock Holmes, which is being read by Simon Vance. I did just get past the beginning of the fifth volume, finally, guys. Woo. Out of seven. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so it's stories that I listened to this time around. The Adventures of the Empty House. You have the Adventures of the Norwood Builder. Then the Adventure of the Dancing Man. The Adventure of the Solitary Cyclist. The Adventure of the Priory School, and the Adventure of Black Peter. I'm currently reading through the Adventure of Charles Augustus Milverin or Miltern. Wow, sorry, bad pronunciation, guys. But anyway, um, yeah, I absolutely love this book, and I wish I had more time in the day just to sit there and listen to the audiobook. But I'll get there. I'll get there. Like I said, I'll get there. There's a few hours that I have left, even in this section. We'll get there. So, what you watching, Silver? Um, quite a bit, actually. Let's start off with TV shows this time around. I was watching quite a bit of True Blood. I have gotten to season 6, episode 6. I'm going to tell you, I think I have figured out the exact reason as to why I stopped watching this series at this around this time when it was live on TV. Um, but I promise I'll go back to it later. I just kind of need a break every once in a while from it. I feel like, as Cece said, it's kind of jumped the shark a little bit for me, but that's neither here nor there. I've also been watching Smallville. I decided I was going to watch that. I have gotten to season 2, episode 6, and now I am actually midway through episode 7. I decided to also take a quick break from that to watch a little bit of Doctor Who, and now the piece de resistance. I've been watching a lot of Doctor Who, y'all, hence the title Doctor-Rific. I basically got it in my head this week, even the past couple days, really, that I was wanting to watch through as many of the classic Doctor Who episodes as I possibly could. As you all know, a lot of the Doctor Who episodes have been lost over the years, and a lot of them are not premiered in many places. But anyway, last night I did finish all the way up to episode 4 of the Keys of Marinus. Mostly because some of the episodes are missing. Um, Basically, my watch through will be missing a lot of episodes. I own stories 1 through 3 and the Aztecs on DVD. The rest of the stories I'll have to watch on BritBox.com. If you don't know what BritBox is, it's actually BBC's version or alternative, really, to Netflix. I don't know if anyone realized that, but Netflix totally dropped the ball when it came to hosting all of Doctor Who episodes, and this is where they went to. I saw this, oh, geez, a couple days ago and said, heck yeah, sign me up. I really do want to have a chance to go ahead and watch through everything. So obviously, now that I've talked about the classic Doctor Who, all right, so I have finally, this is a couple weeks in the past now, I have finally watched the first episode of this 10th series of Doctor Who. I am actually going to be talking about the notes that I took while watching the episode. So here is your spoiler warning. Um, I have put a picture up, as you can see, of the TARDIS journal that I have. That's River Song's journal with the spoiler. This is your spoiler warning. As long as I have this up, you'll know it's not safe to come back. And I'll also put the timestamp down below. Yes, lots of editing heavy today, but I don't mind. I will do it for y'all. All right, so when I did take the picture down, you'll know it's safe to come back. And you'll know exactly when to skip to. Let me take a quick sip here. More tea, y'all. Okay, with all that in mind, here we go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to mention are the pictures of his niece and his wife, River Song, on his desk. It was a total awe moment. I had to pause it. Like, I couldn't even process that information. And of course, this is early on the episode too, so there's quite a bit. It was a total awe moment. Completely. The other thing that struck me as kind of funny, really, was that the doctor as a professor. I mean, genius. He pretty much likes to act like he knows everything and he knows enough, and him just sharing his knowledge and experience is just something I always had wanted to see. So it was just perfect timing. Another thing that really caught my eye really is that the doctor offered to be Bill's tutor. Hmm, interesting. I guess in public, that's how they got up here. I don't know. Anyway, a puddle monster. And the doctor doesn't know immediately what it is. That is something he's never seen before. Another note. Wait, Daleks? What? I also wrote fire meets water. Got that. Don't know where I was going with that thought process, I'm going to admit. Um, Another thing I wrote here was fire meets water. Got that. Okay. Another note. Where did we leave the Daleks that they're in the middle of fire? I was so confused apparently about that part of the episode. And then where is the hottest fire? Next note it was water becoming a Dalek. Okay, cool. I can rock that. um, One of my favorite quotes in this came up in this episode is that time and relative dimension in space means what the hell? Yes, it does harken back to the movie Back to the Future, as mentioned on telegraph.co.uk. But that's fine. I'm a fan either way. I'm pretty cool with that. It was interesting to see that particular crossover. Um, I have to note one thing that I did miss with my first viewing of it. I actually watched it 3 times already because I wanted to digest all the information for all y'all and just let you know in case you happen to miss it too. Apparently, there was a stuffed bird in his study. I didn't quite see that right away. I actually was reading an article also on telegraph.co.uk, and they mentioned that in one of their articles. So that's another reason why the third playthrough happened, just to kind of see that for myself. As and people were assuming that it was definitely a reference to the raven that actually killed Clara. So that is pretty cool. There was a lot of Easter eggs, I guess, hiding in this episode. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. Come on back. Come on back. We're going to be moving on to all the podcasts that I've watched this past couple weeks. Just be aware these are all the ones that I tend to come back to or I've just found. So I'll be linking them all in the podcast notes. That way you can go ahead and just check them out if you so choose. Um, as I mentioned the last time, I have been trying to keep up with Cece's April daily vlog, SSS Vita. I am all caught up. I made sure to watch today's as well. I did watch only one episode of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast, mostly because the second one was where they were talking about the first episode of Doctor Who, and I didn't want to spoil myself, so I'm going to have to do that later. Now that I've watched it for myself and kind of digested the information. But yes, that was as of a couple days ago. Um, the other thing that I have been keeping up with is the Knit Girls. I'm gonna let you know. I'm sorry, I was a bit delayed today, just so that I can watch their new episode that just went live, like literally 20 minutes before I started watching it. Um, I have to let you know if you have not seen the episode, make sure you go by. It's absolutely hysterical. I love these ladies, and I can't see. I can't say enough about them. Um, Another podcast that I watch every week is the Innisnit podcast. And I also, oh, she is amazing. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the microphone thing for her, but if that's what she needs to do to be heard, then more power to her. Um, so another podcast that I just found, that's not, it's just new to me, not new, but new to me. It's called Stitching the High Notes. Hi, Joanna. I'm actually just on episode 12. I'm midway through episode 13 now. Since I since I wrote that in my podcast notes, like let me just make sure to change that. Absolutely love Joanna's way of looking at the fiber community and just saying hi to everyone. It's absolutely love it. Absolutely love her podcast. I also have been keeping up with Round the Twist. Oy, awesome, awesome, awesome. I've also been trying to keep up with Commuter Knitter as well. She's got a few episodes, but I am up to episode 11 now, so that's good. She's also a Connecticut podcaster as well, so I figure, hey, definitely want to give her a listen. The Stockinette Zombies also put up a Kiss Kill Mary Hat Edition, little mini-sode, so to speak. Oh, absolutely love it. I did catch up with the books, hence why my dive into books happened. Another one that I have been catching up with, they're new to me relatively, called Pearls and Pages, also a Connecticut podcaster. Uh, the last one I'm going to mention, of course, and this is an audio podcast, it's been going on for quite a while, The Knitmore Girls. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Gigi. I'm still stuck in the past. I am binge watching, but I am now up to episode 70. I try to make as much time as I possibly can. There are not enough hours in the day to catch up with everyone, but I will do my best. Part part of what has hindered a lot of my listening and watching time there is sometimes and every once in a while, more often than not, you'll find me going down the rabbit hole that is YouTube. Um, they were pretty much random YouTube videos were pretty much my jam whenever I was home during my busy work weekends. I'm going to be just listing off a list of those that I thought were the best and that I thought were noteworthy because obviously I can spend a good 6 or 7 hours lost in the randomness that can be YouTube. But I'll just list off a few that were definitely the most important and the most funny. So I think you'll enjoy them all. Because, yeah, there were a couple days where I went down the rabbit hole. So thank you, Cece, for having me say rabbit hole how many times in the past 10 minutes? Okay, okay. I've rambled on for long enough. I know your time is valuable. Please feel free to join in any discussion or start your own on the Ravelry board. It's the Silver's Dreamland podcast group there on Ravelry. I don't bite, I promise. If you do have any questions for me, please feel free to post them directly on the Any Questions thread. All right, so I am pretty social. You can find me, as I mentioned, on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland podcast. I am actually Silverluna2112 there on Ravelry. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at www.facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am both Silver's Treats and Silver's Dreamland. More than often, if you do follow me, I am on there mostly as Silver's Treats. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. However, if you don't happen to hear from me within 24 hours on either of those methods, please feel free to email me directly at silversdreamland at gmail.com. So please stay tuned for episode 24 on May 10th. Until next time, happy crafting!